The Yorkshire Coastcast with Paddy. Loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places.
Hello and welcome to episode 48.
This is the coast.
Coming up, I have a tour around Askham Bryan Wildlife Park on the edge of York. Just as we put half-price vouchers on sale for a family ticket, we get you and the family in for under 15 quid. And trust me, it is an amazing place.
This is the coast.
Yeah, they've got axolotls, they've got bats, they've got all sorts of amazing animals, many species. So more on that coming up very soon. And also a powerful new dramatisation of what has been described as the largest miscarriage of justice in the United Kingdom's history is set to premiere in Scarborough this weekend. Glitch, the true story of the post office scandal, is opening at the Stephen Joseph Theatre for a 2-night run. We're going to find out more about that very shortly as well. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on YouTube, and always at thisisthecoast.co.uk/podcasts. And you can get in touch with me anytime. Email Paddy at thisisthecoast.co.uk. Right, we will start this episode at Askham Bryan Wildlife Park. I've had a look round for the very first time and I was absolutely blown away by the size of the place. It really does feel like you are walking around a zoo. And I was surprised at just how many animals there were. Mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, invertebrates, many of which are threatened as well. In fact, they're home to over 100 species, and they're going to be reopening again to the public very soon. They're just working on some new stuff as well, so even if you've been before, expect things that you haven't seen before. Now, Connor is the education coordinator at Askham Bryan Wildlife Park. He's so unbelievably passionate about the place. We had a chat before he showed me around.
So during the week, we're a place for students to come and learn how to go into an animal career. And then on weekends, half terms and the summer holidays, we open up to public as a small zoo wildlife park attraction.
Yeah, because at the moment, I mean, the students milling around, but then it also looks like the kind of shop you get at a zoo, and the admission prices as well. So how is it balancing the two things here?
Yeah, no, it's good fun. I'll say good fun with the air quotations as well for those that can't see it, but it's good. What's nice is we're able to teach the students how a normal zoo or wildlife park will run. This then gives them that experience before they go into the big wide world, and then can hopefully always help them with whatever career they want to go into. But no, it's nice from the education side, from the husbandry side with animals, from talking to people, from knowing what's best for the animals. It's really good at sort of being able to reach all aspects of their learning.
And in terms of animals, what do you have here?
So we've got a wide variety. We've got an array from our smaller invertebrate species. We've recently had some orb spiders that have arrived, and they're free roaming around our invertebrate room. We have some axolotls, which a lot of you will know are a small amphibian species that's quite popular. So if you don't know, ask your kids and they'll know. They've recently just arrived on show. We've got our meerkats and lemurs. We've got our Scottish wildcats, the wallabies. We've got our heritage conservation farm up the far end with all our different breeds of sheep. It's joined by our alpacas, the ducks and the geese. And recently we've had our dwarf zebu mac and cheese that have arrived in our Asia section.
Wow, okay. Amazing, fantastic. And for the public coming in then, who's it perfect for? And, what is the experience like for when they come and have a look around?
So we really sort of aim towards the smaller audience, so those smaller members of the family. Up to 3 years old or anyone under 3 can get into the wildlife park for free. And actually for Feb half term, we're going to be doing Kids Go Wild and Kids Go Free. But we're a nice wildlife park that can probably take you a couple of hours to walk around. We've always got our cafe open as well if you want to take a little break and then go back out and see what you want. We always have a range of talks and crafts that go on throughout the day, and we always try and aim it at the audience that's there. So if we have a group of teenagers rock up to the talks, we'll obviously aim it at them, but it's a nice small little wildlife park that's a nice little morning or a good little afternoon out.
And you might have people coming, families, young children, and who knows, maybe down the line they might come and study here, those children.
That's honestly the dream. Not many people know we're here. We look after a small arc species called the tansy beetle, the jewel of York, and we kind of treat ourselves almost like the jewel of York's location, where not many people know we're here, but yeah, that's exactly it. Once people find out about us, they can join as a season ticket member. Before they know it, their kids are 7 years old and they're old enough to do an animal encounter. Then all of a sudden they find out that I run a holiday club here as well. They come and spend the day with me, helping me feed the animals, muck them out and learning all the intricacies about them. And then, yeah, before you know it, they're 16 and they're coming and speaking to me at the front desk, telling me they came here with school, done an encounter, done a visit. And so, yeah, it's a really nice little track and a way for them to know what other careers are available.
And it is an important important place, isn't it, for your conservation? Just talk a bit about that, because there's a lot of good work that happens here, isn't there?
So we're a real champion for those that have a bit of a smaller voice, especially in the zoo world. So our invertebrate species, we've got our tansy beetles that I mentioned. Their habitats disappearing because of pollution in waterways that's destroying their sort of habitat. They're found in small locations around the River Ouse, and I believe it was not last year, but the year before, we were finding 70 odd in just one patch, which was really impressive. We've got our medicinal leech behind the scenes, which we're studying to find out more about it so we can then help their wild counterparts. And one of our real sort of champion projects is our glutinous snail, a snail that's found in one pond in Wales. We're able to take 20 from that pond, and we've got over a couple of hundred now. And the idea is we want to make a safe site for them on site. We want to check to make sure that they're all okay, with the final result being that we can repopulate them in different ponds, streams and locations. If anything was to happen to them in that one pond in Wales, they would unfortunately disappear. So ourselves and other zoos around the UK all joining together to find out more about them and try and get them back out into different ponds, different habitats and locations.
It's amazing that can be discovered in one pond in Wales, that this species that exists on its own can be discovered. And there must be lots of stuff out there still, mustn't there, in this country, around the corner maybe, that's in the same.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And when the keepers were looking back on the records, I want to say something silly like 1500 or in the 1700s, they actually found that glutinous snails were in pond and streams in York. I know that just over the road, if we're talking wetlands, that we've got otters that have been found in local riverways. So again, you never really know what's on your doorstep, and a big part of what we want to do is just let people know what's out there.
And what gave you your passion to do this? Because obviously you've got a lot of passion for it. Where's that come from?
That's purely to blame for your Steve Irwin. Growing up watching him, the way he spoke about the animals, getting people interested in them. That's the real sort of kick, was watching and growing up seeing Steve Irwin. I'm not a fan of jumping on the crocodiles, but I'll happily stand next to them and try and tell people about them as much as I can.
Brilliant. And we're going to have a little look round, aren't we? So it's going to be great to have a look round and sort of share my thoughts on that afterwards, really, and experience the place myself. So thanks for your time.
No, I appreciate you coming in, and let's go check it all out.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is the coast.
And welcome to episode 48 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast with me, Paddy. Some more from Askham Bryan Wildlife Park after my tour around soon. Firstly, though, a powerful new dramatisation of what has been described as the largest miscarriage of justice in the United Kingdom's history is set to premiere in Scarborough tonight as we record on Friday. Glitch, the true story of the post office scandal, opens at the Stephen Joseph Theatre for a 2-night run on the 6th and 7th of February. Associate producer Matthew Linley has been talking to Matthew about the new production.
We're premiering the show here in Scarborough. The Stephen Joseph is such a great space to open new work in. It's going to be premiered in Scarborough on Friday and Saturday of this week before going out on an 11-week tour.
Now, obviously, the post office scandal has been big news over quite a long period of years, really. And obviously the Mr. Bates ITV show really brought it to the fore. What's the angle that you're taking on it with this performance?
We focus on the story of Pam Stubbs. So if Alan Bates was the number one witness in the High Court case, literally called number one, Pam was number two. And Pam was the postmistress who kept a manual ledger of everything that was going through her system. So she was able to prove how Horizon wasn't coming up with correct figures. By focusing in on Pam's own story, it becomes a very personal story. As an audience member in the room, you go on this extraordinary roller coaster, which at one point you're feeling incredibly angry at what's happening to this character you come to know and love. There are moments of hope and joy, and then a wider kind of frustration around how have we let this happen in our modern day society? Because it's happening in front of you, there is a slightly different relationship to when you're seeing a story pan out on TV. But they're both using real life stories to tell a really important story. And it continues to be a really important story.
And what's the time frame of Glitch? How much of the story are you telling?
So we go right back to when Horizon was first installed into Pam's porter cabin. So we go right back to the beginnings of the story and go almost up to present day. It's one of the great things about live theatre is telling the story right up to almost present day.
And in terms of the authenticity of the story what you're telling, how's it been written? How's it been researched? Has there been input from Pam and other people?
As Anna Cairns, our writer, and Pam Stubbs worked very closely together. Pam's been in rehearsals. Pam's been all around the story. So I think for us, authenticity is really key. We're really focusing in on Pam's story. There is a duty on us as theatre makers to really tell her story, to be really authentic. And I hope we achieve. Certainly Pam feels that we have, but it's really important to us that it's an authentic story that we're telling.
Pam had worked as well, hadn't she, with Lee Castleton from Bridlington?
Pam was one of the core members of the group that ultimately brought the post office to task. Lee, Alan, Pam, Joe Hamilton, and a number of others. You'll know from Lee's own story, from Alan's story, from Joe's, from Pam's. So each of them had these incredibly, in a way, painful stories. Pam's own story, she and her husband were running the post office together, and then ultimately husband died from cancer. And as she took on the post office, Horizon came in. So you get these extraordinary and heartbreaking personal stories. And one of the things that I think happens in live theatres, much more so than on TV, is you get a real attachment. You feel really connected to the characters. One of the things that Pam said to all of us is that the importance of Glitch is very much about keeping the story alive. And I think that's what Glitch is really trying to do, to try and keep the story in front of all of our minds. It's probably the largest miscarriage of justice that's happened in the United Kingdom for a long period of time. And I think, yes, I really hope that actually what the piece does is bring the story to life, bring it back up to the top of our own agendas. And as Pam says, it has not finished. This has not finished. This is still ongoing. And of course, the human impact, which is such a key part of the story that we're telling on Glitch, I think that will never cease, particularly for the families who were bereaved as a direct result of Horizon, or indeed have gone through these horrific experiences at the hands of, as we point out in the show, one of the most respected UK organisations.
Glitch, the true story of the post office scandal, is on at the Stephen Joseph Theatre this evening as we record, which is Friday, and also tomorrow as well. There's also a matinee on Saturday, the 7th of February. We got more details at thisisthecoast.co.uk.
The Yorkshire Coastcast, loving life in Yorkshire. The people, the places. This is the coast.
And this is episode 48 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast with me, Paddy, and brought to you by This Is The Coast, the local commercial radio station for the Yorkshire Coast, which you can find on DAB across much of the region, actually. Also online anywhere in the world at thisisthecoast.co.uk. Just listen live. And you can also download our free app from the App Store. Listen to us that way. And also the smart speakers too. Get your Alexa to launch This Is The Coast. And if you've got a Roku streaming stick, then you can download the This Is The Coast app and not only have us on your smart television, but you'll get the latest local news stories flashing across the screen as well, which is really useful and really great for waiting rooms, actually. If you work in an area that's got a waiting room, a place that's got a waiting room, why not get us on the smart TV with the Roku stick? Because you can have us playing in that waiting room, but also for those who are waiting for whatever they're waiting for, they can look through the latest local news stories for the Yorkshire coast. More now from my visit to Askham Bryan Wildlife Park on the edge of York, just off the A64. What a place it is. So Connor showed me around and we had a good whiz around, saw so many more animals and birds and wildlife than I was expecting. It really was brilliant. And as I said to him, actually, for a family coming for a visit, especially with our half-price voucher, under 15 quid, what a bargain you're going to get. You really are in for a real treat. There's loads and loads to see.
Yeah. So like we were saying, we've got all the animals sort of inside. We've got all of them outside. Everyone's working. All the animals are working on their own sort of day. So some might be asleep the first time we pop round. So we always encourage, take a little break, visit the cafe, visit one of the food vans we've got on site, and then go back out and try and see those ones you've missed.
And also what I noticed too is like for you were like, oh, look, the squirrels are here. So you've got new stuff coming in all the time, haven't you, as well?
No. So especially over this winter period, we've been closed, and this is one of the big things that we're really proud of that we've been able to do over the winter closure is introduce all these species, even to the point where, like you said, I'm losing track of everyone that's coming in. But let's not tell anyone because I need to make sure the signs are up there as well. But yeah, so we've recently had some squirrels that have arrived, and next door to the squirrels, we've actually got our Vietnamese pheasants. Now, again, you may look at them and think they're just a pheasant, but these are critically endangered. We don't think they've actually been spotted in the wild since 2001. So it's great for not only the students, but for public to be able to see those sort of animals, and whether they just appreciate them or go away and do their own sort of research on him. We just want to make sure people are getting back into nature.
And the grounds are really nice, aren't they? You said it was an arboretum one, so lovely grounds, huge trees. You know, it's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, that adds to the other element of visiting. The first time you visit, obviously, like I said, for Feb half term when we're going to be open, and obviously the kids can get in for free. We're just creeping out of that winter time, but I promise you, when we're back open for Easter, everything's going to be alive, everything's going to be budding. We've got the snowdrops that are obviously out at the moment, and again, that's passing through the summer, through the autumn time, where we try and raise awareness of those lesser known sort of species for our October half term theme. But yeah, like you said, the ground sort of spreads all the way along, and species and different areas all the way throughout.
You were talking before about axolotls, and every time we do a kids disco, we're having a chat with me about, you know, the other stuff that I do. The other half always gives away a squishy axolotl after playing Baby Shark, and I don't even know if I've actually seen one in real life until now. Incredibly similar to what she gives away. I mean, they're amazing looking things, aren't they? Amazing looking creatures.
Yeah, no, honestly, absolutely stunning. You can be sitting there, whether it's one of the school groups that I've got or whether it's a member of public. You could be talking to the parents and they'll be quite plain-faced, but we sell them in the shop as well, same sort of toys, and the kids are bringing them to the front desk. We've got the monkeys out there in the shop, we've got the snake toys, we've got all sorts, but these kids are bringing over these small little pink things, and the parents are really wondering what's going on. So what's amazing is now we've moved them from behind the scenes on show, so they are there available for everyone to be able to see, everyone to be able to understand. And what's really amazing is on Thursdays when we're open to the public, and every Saturday we run our amphibian encounter, so you can come behind the scenes, be able to see what's going on and sort of see everyone that's in there as well.
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting the bats as well.
Yeah, so they're great as well. Those are our Egyptian fruit bats. So what's key for our students is they need to learn different environments to work in. If they ever want to follow or research a nocturnal animal, we want to be able to teach and train them to understand how to work with their head torches, how they're going to research the animals, moving around in a dark environment. But for the public, we do it on a reverse cycle. So the lights are off, so the animals are active when we're awake, when they would naturally be awake. And I believe on our last keeper count, we had over 40, close to 50 Egyptian fruit bats flying around. They're great seed dispersers as well. So again, they enjoy their fruits. They'll enjoy all parts of that fruit. And then once they're flying off, maybe for the next snack, they'll either spit out or get rid of the seed at the other end. So again, a great seed disperser. There's not many people would think, but a good game, if you do visit, try and see how many you can find. Try and see how many you can count. So I won't give you the exact number.
And actually, when we first went in, it was more like going into an aquarium, wasn't it? Which, again, I wasn't expecting. And you've got some work going on right now, which by the time people visit will all be open. So that must be really exciting. Tell us what's going in there.
Yeah, so that is really exciting. We have developed our Wildlife of the World corridor. Again, a big part of our winter closure was our one inside area. We didn't want people to come during the winter and only have the outside available. So what is amazing is we've got some new species that have arrived in our aquarium section. This includes our lesser spotted cat sharks as well, to raise awareness and obviously of that shark species, and to show people as well that maybe have that misconception that all sharks are evil creatures, that they're very inquisitive creatures that are just minding their own business. And as you move through, we've got our amphibians and our reptiles that you can see before you get to the nocturnal. And what we're going to be trialling is some mixed species enclosures. So that's with some amphibians and some reptiles, especially our Madagascan tank. Starry-eyed reed frogs alongside some yellow-headed day geckos. That's going to be an amphibian mixed species enclosure. And then as you wander through, a bit of a fan favourite really, the poison blue dart frogs are going to be having a reptile join them. But I'll wait for you guys to come in and check out and see who the new neighbours are.
Yeah, brilliant. All sounds exciting, and I think if you come and have a great time, I think if you come again, then the chances are that something else will have arrived, or you'll have developed something else. And that's what's great about this place. It's evolving all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a real important thing for all zoos and collections, to always be growing, never sort of standing still, not only for any sort of public benefit, but both for those animal benefit. And a big part that we've got here is obviously our students. We always want to be updating and making sure we're keeping up with zoos around the world, around the UK, with their developments, so that our students are getting that first-hand experience before they go into that big wide world.
Thanks so much for your time. What a fantastic place. And of course, we have got half-price vouchers on sale as well on the website and app. But of course, once they're gone, aren't they? So, a chance to come half price as well. But thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Really appreciate you coming in. Really pleased being able to sort of show you around. And yeah, as you sort of mentioned, we've got Feb half term from the 14th all the way through to the 22nd of February, where kids go wild and kids go free. And we look forward to seeing you all then.
Love his passion. That is Connor there, education coordinator at Askham Bryan Wildlife Park on the outskirts of York. It's so easy to get to as well because it's just off the A64 York bypass at the turn off for the A1237. Very easy to access. And, honestly, I was really genuinely very, very impressed with what I saw. And with our half-price vouchers, we can get you and the family in for under £15, which is just unbelievable. Just click vouchers at thisisthecoast.co.uk, or if you've got the This Is The Coast app, which you should do on your mobile phone, then in the menu, just click vouchers on the app. But like we said, once they're gone, they are gone. Right, let's have a look at some of the other stories making the news headlines here on the Yorkshire coast. And have you heard about the potential tourism tax? This is being discussed at the moment. It's a 12-week government consultation to determine whether regional mayors in England should be granted the power to introduce a visitor levy on overnight stays. So that's going to end later this month, and it's sparked quite a debate actually here on the Yorkshire coast, as you might expect. Councillor Neil Swanwick has expressed a measured openness to the proposal, suggesting it could provide a much-needed boost for local travel links.
I cautiously welcome the tourism tax, depending on what is done with the money and where it is spent, because I do want it to be spent on other things than tourism, and it can be spent on, for example, transport infrastructure. I'm also very keen that the levy, if it is to be brought in, is levied equally, and it's not just hotels that are expected to collect it, but also short-term lets, especially through letting agencies and so on, are also expected to pay for it.
So that is Neil Swanwick in Whitby, and also fellow Whitby representative Phil Trumper has raised objections, mostly focused on whether the revenue would actually reach the coast. This is what he had to say.
I have concerns about the tourist tax. I'm not 100% supportive of it. In fact, at the moment, I don't support it. I do have concerns that it will be spent in where the money is being collected. I think it'll be spent in York.
So there we go, a couple of opinions on that. I remember when I went to Venice last summer with the kids, when we checked into the hotel, we were then told that we had to pay an extra few euros, which was a tourist tax. And I was just like, really? But I don't know, would a visitor really mind? And if you, as a local, felt like it was actually being pumped back into the local area to make this area even more fantastic, then would it be good? Anyway, we've got more on that story at thisisthecoast.co.uk in the Yorkshire Coast News section. One other story for you as well. The North York Moors National Park Authority is going to be opening its astronomical observatory at Danby Lodge National Park Centre this month, adding a new permanent purpose-built base for astronomy and space science learning in the area. As part of the National Park marking the start of the 2026 Dark Skies Festival, the new facility, known as the Dark Skies Station, is marking a huge milestone in widening public access to the North York Moors and its internationally recognised dark skies, night skies. Designated an International Dark Skies Reserve back in 2020, the North York Moors National Park is recognised for the exceptional quality of its starlit skies and its ongoing work to reduce light pollution for the benefit of wildlife, people and landscape. We've got more on those stories at thisisthecoast.co.uk. Finally, on episode 48 of the Yorkshire Coastcast, quick look at some of the upcoming events. We've got Paul Merson laid bare at Bridlington Spa on Friday the 6th of February, 7:30, sharing stories and anecdotes, not just his time on the football pitch, but also from his challenges he's faced off it. And Let's Rock the 70s at Bridlington Spa as well, at 8, a highly skilled and talented band performing some of the biggest songs by some of the biggest names of the 1970s. That's it for episode 48 of the Yorkshire Coastcast podcast. Remember, we're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and always at thisisthecoast.co.uk.
The Yorkshire Coastcast. The people, the places.
And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from, and you'll be notified next time a new podcast episode drops.
The Yorkshire Coastcast.
Loving